I'm Paul Elliott here with Hashrocket TV, and I'm sitting with Corey Haines.
Hello.
Now, I know you've been working on a product for a while, and it's about the emotion that goes into decision making. Can you tell us a little bit about that product?
Sure. It's an application called Mercuryapp, like the thermometer, and the short description of it is it helps individuals and teams make better decisions by tracking how we feel about things over time. And we all know that when it comes time to make a decision, we usually go with our gut. And that decision, we spend time trying to think back over the last couple of weeks. How have I thought about this? If I'm choosing between cars or a new tool or a relationship or colleges to go to. And we try to remember. So, man, how have I thought about this? And we tend to have a backward-facing negativity bias. So we remember negative emotions more strongly than positive emotions. And we tend to have a forward-thinking positivity bias. So we tend to think that next week is going to be better if you had a bad week at work.
Sure.
And so what Mercuryapp does is it combines a very easy micro-journaling aspect with a very simple rating of like 1 to 5 or smiley faces or pandas. And so you come on and you set up a topic that you want to track for a while, and it contacts you periodically, daily, several times a day, once a week, and asks you, what do you think? And you can rate on the scale and put in a few sentences. You can put in a long period thing if you want, but we really focus on that micro-journaling.
Cool. So now you can use it for individual use, but it also works with teams. Can you walk us through an example of how a team might use this?
Sure. So one way is when you have a high-performing team, they tend to be tweaking their process a lot. They tend to be meeting regularly, maybe every 2 weeks for a retrospective. And usually what happens in your retrospective, or if you're saying, we're going to try out a new tool or a new process, is everybody gets together and spends 20 minutes going, how did this iteration go? And what Mercuryapp allows a team to do is get everybody tracking the same thing and on a daily basis check in. How is it going? It takes about 15 seconds, so it's not like that timesheet. Got to do my timesheet thing. And so when you come to the decision making activity, whether it's at your retrospective or an action item decision meeting, you can look back over this journal, and we draw a nice little graph of how the team average is doing. And so it provides a lot more of that real data that normally we just try to remember. Also, if you as a team, you can look at it more regularly to see what's the team morale. A lot of times we think, oh man, I'm not having a good time on this project, or too many meetings, and we don't realize that everybody else on our team has that same feeling, and so you can more rapidly get feedback. Agile is really about minimizing feedback loops, so you can use this tool to take that 2-week feedback loop and drop it to a daily or several day basis. And so, that's basically it. I'm developing it with my girlfriend and partner, Sarah Gray. It was originally her idea. She built it a few years ago, a prototype for making a couple decisions that she had to make. And she thought, man, it would be great if I just had a way to track this. So she put it together in true awesome developer style. And then last year we decided to put together a product, and this was a natural thing to do.
Yeah. So now this is running in production.
Yeah.
Right. So we can go check it out today.
Yep. It's at mercuryapp.com. It's we opened up in January, and we have a bunch of teams on it, and we're very. It turns out we're kind of running under a lean startup methodology. I always just called it extreme programming because frequent releases, getting feedback from your customers, things like that. So we're now learning a little bit more about the tool set that the lean startup community has developed to do customer development and things. But and it's free to use for a month for a team. It's free for individuals, but teams get a free month trial to get used to it.
Okay.
And then It's for most teams of a reasonable size, it's about $24 a month.
Okay.
Not about, it is. And so for startups of less 4 people or less, it's free.
Okay.
So
Great.
it's a great way. I have been using it since the middle of August to track working on Mercuryapp. So it's kind of neat. I have a journal of the entire development of my app, which is
That's
a
awesome.
nice little thing. So
Yeah, that sounds like a really useful little tool.
yeah, so it's getting a lot of good feedback from the teams that are on it.
That's great. Well, thanks for talking to us.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Paul.